Thank you for attending and tuning into my talk on full stack product management. My name is Pardeep Atwal, and I will be sharing with you my learning on what it is to be a full stack product manager and also why it's important to you. Why even bother learning about full stack product management? I'll go through all of that. How will it be useful to you? I'm going to go through that as well. And also, share some of my learning and what you'll walk away with is a better ability to execute as a product manager, and it'll make your day-to-day life as a product manager easier because I'll explain why it's valuable to look at each one of our disciplines that we work with and understand and represent them better, but also make them stronger, making our overall product management and development cycle a more fun experience and also a far better experience for everyone involved. Obviously, I'll be talking a little bit about myself, as everyone always does. I like talking about myself just like everyone else. Um, I'll also be talking about full stack product management, something I'm very passionate about. Full stack product management isn't about replacing anything you already know about product management, but more about you learning about the value of engaging with all the different product management disciplines and also being able to leverage their strengths and also understanding their weaknesses and helping them through it. Because whatever those weaknesses are, whatever those challenges are, they are going to impact you and they'll bite you in the end. So, well, just like what I talk about full stack product management, it means understanding the entire stack, all the resources that are given to you as a product manager. You need to understand them because if you don't understand them, you won't be able to leverage them properly. You won't be able to take those strengths that they have, and then obviously develop into a higher level execution product manager. And that's what this whole talk is about: is me sharing some of my insights, and also there'll be little kind of tests for you or key takeaways that you can use in your daily life as a product manager to be able to execute better and understand in this discipline, do I really understand it to the depth that I needed to? And I'll explain why you should take that interest. This is not to replace all the things we do as product managers on a daily basis, engaging with customers, doing customer interviews, understanding our market landscape, understanding our technology landscape, our competitors, competitive analysis, all those things to be done, should be done. Plenty of talks on all of that stuff. I'm here to talk to you about why it's important to understand the different disciplines that we work with on a daily basis, because that's where you'll be able to execute better as a product manager. Once again, back to a little bit about me. I really enjoyed programming and technology at a young age. I was a kid begging my dad for another computer, begging my dad for other things in terms of, that I could melt and solder with my soldering iron. I had my little hobbies that to this day, I build quadcopters, and on the side and as a hobby, just as a hobby. And, made video games. I like playing video games. So why not make them? Every kid does. So here we go. And so I developed video games earlier on in my career as a dev. I worked for Disney. And then later on, I worked for Abatis, which is a very successful startup as a dev as well. And then because it was a successful startup and I saw the passion that some of those product managers, those early product managers had, some of the founders in that company. And so I went off and I did my MBA. And I did my MBA at University of Victoria. And then I went on to do my international business and finance specialization at ENPC in Paris. Paris in the summertime is beautiful. And I really enjoyed my time there. And then after that, I founded my own startup and really enjoyed that experience. A great learning experience for anyone wanting to do product management is to do your own startup. And then I joined Microsoft and I led a team of product managers. We worked on Windows Server, worked directly with the UX team, revamped some of the key user experiences in Windows Server, and also developed a new user experience for server management for servers, Windows servers. and that was an excellent, excellent experience, and loved the work that I did there, and really enjoyed my time there. From there, I went and we became worked as a senior director for data center and cloud at Rogers, which is one of the telecoms here in Canada, and I was responsible for public cloud, private cloud, um, you know, millions of dollars in revenue, um, tremendous investment, data centers, managing data centers, managing co-location, public cloud, private cloud, all the different services that go along with it, and launching new services. Um, Great learning experience. I enjoyed my time there as well. And then I was always getting approached by startups and other companies to provide advice. As that engagement happened, I am going to share some of those lessons with you. And so I did my, I'm currently doing product management consulting, and I'm very hands-on. So I'll get involved with the company and I'll engage with them and really just follow through and see where are their weaknesses. Why is it that they're unable to execute on the roadmap? Is there a credible roadmap in place? And all those things, and tying those things together. So back to full stack product management. What is full stack product management? As product managers, we sit in the center of many different disciplines. Those disciplines, depending on what stage in the product management cycle we're in, that's who we engage with. For instance, initially we have customer requirements. We work with the UX team to understand what is the right UX that the development team should be developing. We work through them. We work and understand what those scenarios are, the use cases. And from there, we work with the development team. We build those requirements and we pass those requirements on to the development team. But we should be directly engaged with them as well through the entire process, which we are. Then on comes the test team. We should be testing our features. We should be working with the test team to understand, are the right test cases in place for our particular features. And that's the test team, working with them and understanding all those components. And then the support team, ensuring are the right support scripts in place for this feature, or when customers call in to understand how to use that feature when it's launched, is that something that they're aware of? And also, are they able to use and leverage them, as well as, working with the support team, understand all those components. And also with the sales team, can they actually sell what we've told, and said that, we built this wonderful roadmap. We talked about all these wonderful features, but is the sales team engaged at the point where early on in the process, so they can give us feedback on how to build them, and now how are they going to sell this? How are customers going to be onboarded? What benefit and what value is it to them? And that's something that we sit in the center, and all these different resources, teams, disciplines, they revolve around us, and we engage with them, and we try to drive and build out our features. So always focus on execution. That's the key. You need to be able to gain that traction, lead with facts, always understand be the voice of the customer, understand what are the reasons we're building it, explain, lead with facts, be able to convince others. That also builds velocity, because if you have the facts, you have the customer interview data, you have all the information you need to be able to convince your organization that what you're trying to build, what you're trying to do, is the right thing for our company and for our customers as well. That'll delight our customers, and it will build on our previous successes. And the other thing is that I'm very passionate about building a product team that has cross-discipline experience, because what that does is it builds a great understanding of all the different disciplines and allows you to execute, because there's an engagement there, because they understand a particular part of that development cycle a little bit better than maybe another PM that's from a different background. So cross-pollination has really worked well for me, and I really enjoy bringing on and introducing this wonderful profession of product management, which I was introduced to as a dev, and I really enjoyed it, and then went off and got my MBA. So, through my experiences with engagement, I've been able to introduce this profession to others as well. And, once you have a team thinking like product managers, and they'll find opportunities for us as well from a technology standpoint as well. They come back to us and, this is what we can do. This is what's possible. And we can get a step ahead of our competitors. So How to achieve full stack product management. This is not to say that anything similar to what a full stack developer is, because full stack development means that they can directly make a contribution. This is about understanding our entire stack and being able to represent both the challenges as well as the opportunities to the larger organization, but also to predict some of the challenges as you go through a development cycle. Because how many times have we been in part of a software feature release and it's over time, over budget? And these are the kind of things that are so common. And a lot of these challenges we could actually circumvent if we actually took the time to rotate through these different disciplines. So what I do is I follow what I learned in my MBA, is that during our MBAs, anyone who's ever, when you go through MBA, we do accounting, we do finance, we do HR, we do law. The reason we do all these disciplines is not to practice in them, but because to deeply understand them so that when we engage with them, that we can make a meaningful contribution, but also trust but verify. Understand that are the right things happening in the right way. And so that in the same way, we should understand development, we should understand test, we should understand support. And I have PMs rotate through them as appropriate, as the organization that they're rotating through understand them, and come back and bring those learnings to the larger team, what their experience has been. And any other, I might be missing some disciplines, but you get the general idea in terms of working through the different stack. Your stack might look different, but still, at the end of the day, these are some of the usual suspects. So what does it mean to be embedded in development? I'll go through all the different disciplines and talk about which ones you should be embedded in and how. So in an observation capacity, be a part of the overall development experience, understand their tooling, understand their challenges the development team faces. Why would you want to understand their challenges the development team faces? Because when you're in that development phase and you weren't able to accomplish what you were in your sprint, you can represent to the larger organization where the challenges are. Is it resourcing? Is it tooling? What should we be doing? And that's very important because the team has confidence that you understand their tools, you understand what their resource environment is, you understand all those different components, and you're able to build a strong relationship with the development team. Learn about the development process. Very key, I can't stress this enough, know how to demo your features without assistance. That's an absolute must, because if you're able to demo them without assistance, that means you value their work, you understand how it's done, and you're able to be a part of that team. And that's very important to be able to do. And once you're capable and you're competent and you understand both their tooling, what environments they use, and you're able to demo everything as appropriate, they're confident you can represent them well and also resolve roadblocks. And one way to test is, are the demo days, are you just demoing to yourself and the usual suspects, or do you have sales, support, and other disciplines that also show up as well at the demo days? And the key takeaway is, do you understand the environment? Can you identify any challenges and also opportunities? When you go through the technologies, do you understand the technologies that your development team is using to deliver your features? For instance, say you're working in NLP, natural language processing, and all the different BERT models, and there's more and different models that come out. Are you able to understand why we should possibly use a newer model than the current model we're using? Is it faster for training purposes? Is it does it have a lower footprint? And then it comes for visual object recognition as well. The different neural nets that are out there and that continue to be developed. Lower footprint, faster training, and there's many other examples as well. As a technology, get interested and gain their confidence, because there's opportunities and read a lot. I mean, I can't stress enough as a product manager, read as much as you possibly can. Definitely read about the market, definitely read about competitors, but also be interested in technologies that you're in, because that's why we're here. We're here because the technology industry is amazing. Things that were impossible a few years ago are now possible, and we're changing the world. We're making an impact, and it's amazing. I can't say enough about it. So embedded in test. Test team is a great team to learn about the overall surface area of the product. They're some of the people who know the most about the product, what's wrong, what's right. And, the test team has a great broad perspective of both the quality as well as some of the areas that possibly could be improved. So understand it, be empathetic, understand what are the challenges of the test team? Why don't we have 100% test automation? And maybe the test team needs a sprint or two to be able to get to that 100%. And you can sell it to the rest of the company or to leadership and say, well, if we spend one or two sprints achieving a higher level of test automation, it makes our overall feature development faster. And also, we can finally get to that level of quality that our customers expect from us. And, often test your features, get into the test environment, run them yourself independently, not when it's just, when you're demoing products to the rest of their organization or features to the rest of the organization, but what you expect. Is it what's been built in the sprint? Key takeaway as a PM, how many bugs have you filed? I always look to see how many bugs PMs are filing because then you understand how engaged they are. And how often do you test how often do you test your features in the test environment? What you spec'd out, is it what's built? Let it be a surprise to you. From a user experience perspective and from a feature completion perspective, be engaged, be on top of it. I know you're probably doing this today already, but still, keep that in mind. Sales team. Understand what are the sales pitches they're using? What are the sales scripts they're using? Jump on sales calls. How are they compensated? How are they incentivized? When and how do they introduce your feature to the overall solution that they're pitching to their customers? Get in the minds of a salesperson. Understand their challenges. And, I'm using the word empathetic a lot, but in the same way that we're empathetic to our customers, we need to be empathetic to our team as well. That they want to win just as bad as you do, but are you able to represent their challenges and are you part of the team? And that's very important. That you can't be part of the team. You can't represent their challenges. You can't understand what challenges you'll be facing when you're at that stage in that overall development cycle and engaging with those different disciplines unless you understand and you're in their shoes. And that means you have to understand how they work, what they're doing, so it makes you a stronger product manager. And what they're pitching, how they're pitching. So one question you have to ask yourself, how often am I looped into sales call? Get engaged, understand how you can support the sales team's win-loss. Be passionate, but really take time to understand the environment that you work in. Back to support. The sales team sold something, you've launched these features, everything's great. Customers start calling in. Now, either calling in because of quality or they're calling in because these features they purchased, these services they purchased, they can't onboard, they can't use them. So then work with the support team. But understand how this discipline works, what tools they use, how do they interface with the UX team and the test team, and how can you resolve these issues? Spend that time. That's part of the rotation, 2 to 3 weeks. I put every product manager in each one of these areas. And then I look at and see what are their key takeaways. And that's and what can they share with the rest of the larger product team, my product team. Onboarding challenges, that's so often the case where is it user UX confusion or are there just general UX issues? If they're just general UX issues, then how about we look at our product roadmap and our feature roadmap and see where can we make time to fix these UX bugs, to understand how we can build and improve the quality of our product as we build more features. Does the support team have the right script so they can support our customers? And are they addressing the pain points, in our product? I mean, I think these are all very important, but you won't be able to be engaged unless you become that full stack product manager, which really just means empathizing with all the disciplines we engage with, understanding them deeply, working with them for your own success, for our collective success, really. And, how are bugs, features, and UX requests coming out from the support team because they have a lot. They have a lot to offer because just like the test team, the support team engages with all the areas and have great surface area. They know the product well, just as you should. And you can engage with them and understand, and they'll tell you where you can make those improvements. And it's just another source of data. And you should understand your entire stack. The support team, the test team are one of those areas where you can really have an impact. So, why do full stack product management? Understanding your stack is what I'm talking about. Understanding, being in their shoes, empathizing with them, being able to execute. Because if you don't understand what their challenges are, those challenges will come and bite you, you know? And that's what I'm talking about, is that just in the MBA, but other professions follow it as well. My wife, when she was doing her residency as a specialist, doctors, when they're learning and they're training, they are immersed in a particular discipline. They rotate between the different specialties. All the specialties that interact with them. And I kind of started thinking as well, I go, that's really interesting because that's what we do as product managers. We interact with so many different disciplines. So other professions do it as well. It's just part of their training. So it's part of the MBA training, but it doesn't seem to be part of our product management training. And that's something I really want to change. And, one part of it is with this talk. And also, is training resource tooling? What is the challenge? That goes for any discipline. Development, maybe refactoring some code will enable faster feature development. And then every feature area has a bug farm somewhere. And how do we solve that? Is that better test automation, or is that going and being able to refactor some code? And there's always every product manager has experienced it where the sales team really isn't presenting your feature area to customers. And so then you have to understand what is their motivation, how they're comped, solve the puzzle, figure it out. That's your job. Building aspirational roadmaps and features and release timelines is easy. It's a fantasy. Why do full stack product management? Because it enables you to understand why you're going to fail before you fail. Predict. It allows you to predict. It allows you to be proactive than reactive. Otherwise you're always surprised by, oh, wow, I'm behind. My feature isn't the way it was developed or I intended to be, but now it's too late. So now, there's some challenges you have there. But if you're engaged from the very beginning, if you follow and look at your entire development process of a feature as one complete stack, you've built those relationships, you've engaged with them at the right time, you're able to build execution, you're able to build velocity, and you can do it if you understand each discipline. But you can't succeed if each discipline or one or two disciplines or any of the disciplines are hobbling along, they're hamstrung. So understanding their challenges and perspectives can enable you to capitalize on those opportunities, but also suggest some solutions and jump in when needed, as needed. Any questions? I'd love to hear from you.